to us. Very nice.
Yeah, congratulations.
Has been
You
really
won
good.
some prizes this year,
We have won
including
some
ours.
prizes. You know, it's been a really great year for us. It really has. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I just happened to look.
Yes.
It's Neon Camper. So
Oh.
are they gonna produce the
Yeah,
bench?
we produce our bench, yeah.
Oh, that's thrilling.
Yes, I know. That's new, which is great.
That's, 'cause that wasn't part of my story.
No, no, well, it wasn't then. No, it was in part. Do you know what? A day or two after that.
Don't let me forget.
Okay, I won't, yes. A day or two after that.
It's a little warm in here.
It is warm in here. I don't, it's, yeah, I was curious about that myself. Yeah, a day or two after the award, I got an email from New Campus rep in Ottawa. And they, had the...
Were they at the awards? Did they see it?
I don't know if they did, but,
Well, maybe it went through the grapevine.
well, I think it did, because this rep in Ottawa got a call from the Canadian Foreign Service, who want one at the Canadian Embassy in Nairobi. So, and that came through Camper, which was, we didn't really have a relationship except our ongoing relationship with them. But the rep called us directly, so we got Klaus involved, and Klaus has always loved it.
Because
so.
Klaus and Beatrix were at the party, like I shot them.
Oh, okay.
And
well,
so I
that
thought maybe
yes.
you were
No, that could well
chatting
be.
with them.
No, no, I didn't
They
get to
didn't
see
stay
them
that
then.
long.
No, no.
Because Klaus had a cane because he had had some kind of spine operation. So
Yeah, his mobility is,
was-
he's got this scooter he runs around the plant on, this little electric thing
Oh.
he stands on and scoots all around it.
well, age is catching up with the...
Yes, yeah. That's it. One way or
Yes.
another.
Yes. So, of course, I looked at your website.
All right. Yeah.
If I were in charge,
Yes.
you have some spelling errors.
Oh, no, really?
You use the IT apostrophe S when you mean ITS. And then there's a nonsense comma that doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
But having been an editor,
Right.
that
Easily bound.
I always see stuff like that.
That's
Like they
irritating.
jump
we
out.
We try hard to, I certainly try hard, very hard, so I'll go looking for that. Sort that out.
But that's just getting into the weeds
Mm-hmm, sure.
prematurely.
Mm-hmm.
So let me just, in 15 seconds, just say, besides media relations, which means, you know, getting stories about you in newspapers, magazines,
Right.
or TV, radio.
Yeah.
You can also use that copy for your website, for brochures, for e-blasts, or postcard keep in touch program for, you know, lots of different purposes.
Yeah.
But also an associate who I'm working with a lot, who's a business consultant, has his own company, works with some big companies like even like Johnson and Johnson,
Wow.
a huge
Yeah.
company, the CVC. He's an expert at what goes under the hood of your website, so that you come up
Right.
first in any kind of search,
Uh-huh.
but also making it extremely painless for anyone who has the slightest interest to get in touch with you. They don't have to fill out forms.
Right,
They just,
okay.
you know, like a window pops up, and if you just like give your email address or your Twitter or whatever, then
Yeah.
then you can be in touch with them.
Mm.
So, because Toronto's a hothouse of
Yeah.
industrial designers, you know, so actually that was one thing that seemed to me about your website. Immediately I want to know, okay, what makes you better and different from the competition,
Yeah.
you know?
Uh-huh.
So, but anyway, what he does under the hood
Right.
can help you there. Okay, over to you.
Okay.
What are you looking for and feel that you need? You need to have press more aware of you?
I think so. Yeah, that's definitely a certainty, for sure.
Because I thought that bench was so cool. I thought, why aren't these? I haven't heard of Fig 40 more than I have.
Okay. Oh, more of the bench.
Well, your firm, because
Okay.
obviously you're doing cool stuff.
Right.
And then, you know, and Takeo that's pretty big that they launched this this new
Mhm.
system.
Yeah, we've had 5 big launches this year. 5 big launches this year. And I'm trying to get the word out.
So,
hard
so
to
if it's
get traction.
newsworthy, then you
Mhm.
should have, press kits that go out.
Mhm.
Can I show you
Sure,
some examples
yeah,
of
yeah.
press kits?
Mhm.
And then, oh, no, that's examples of press hits. Where's my other?
Oh, your bag's right there. Your bag's right there.
Yeah. Now, I don't use, I'm not that often using hard copy press
Right,
kits these
yeah,
days, but
yeah.
now, Klaus gave this to me a long
Oh,
time
yeah?
ago.
Nice.
It long went out of production,
Okay.
but it's so cool
Oh,
that I
yeah.
like using it. However, the leather inside is like delaminating, so I have these little black bits over everything, so excuse
I'm
that.
sure if you ask him nicely, he'd sort that out for you.
You know what?
He's very generous that way.
Right, no, I gave him some like early, classic mid-century modern furniture
Mm-hmm.
that I had to redo. Okay, so I do, well, okay, this is for HOK.
Mm-hmm.
This is for Technion. I should have had this in order. Okay, here's one for HBF
Mm-hmm.
in the US.
Yep.
There's always a press release.
Yeah.
What's new,
Mm-hmm.
and then what's the immediate new thing.
Yep.
And then there would be background dirt like on the designer.
Yeah.
Oh, this was for HBF Textile, so this
Okay.
was the textile
Yep.
designer.
Yep.
Company backgrounder.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then cut lines, which means captions in journalism.
Okay.
For
Okay.
all the images.
I
So to
see,
make it
okay.
really easy for the
Right.
writer, publisher, they can just
piece
cut
it
and
all
paste.
together.
And they can even use the press release. Often they do.
Yeah.
And see how good our printing is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a Xerox Phaser Color Cube
Mhm.
printer, so it has like a wax finish.
You have that yourself?
Yeah. Not getting that much use lately, though. Just right. But I remember there was one journalist at the National Post, Peter Kittenbauer, because I was doing PR for context development,
Mm-hmm.
and he didn't want any e-kit. He wanted to have a hard copy.
Oh, nice.
What a jerk. But he gave us a nice present. And then the card of whoever the contact person is,
Yeah.
who's the talking head.
Right. So those would be would you send those out to specific people, or
Yeah.
would they? So that it's very targeted hard copy
Oh,
that
yeah.
mails out to specific
Right, and then
folks.
follow up with them.
Yeah.
Immediate. And sometimes the thing about backgrounders is that, like a media kit is modular, so you can mix and match depending on who
You
it's
said,
for.
yeah,
Like
right,
here's
right.
Stratus Vineyards.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool the way it
Mhm.
matches?
Yes, it is nice.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah.
Okay, so, yeah, okay, now these are different backgrounders.
Mm-hmm.
This is a biography of the architect. This is, okay, that's just a fact sheet, okay. Critics praise it for food and wine, saying how good the wine is. And they were the exclusive retailer Baccarat Crystal, so that's another. The viticulture, which is pretty technical and long. And this was about the cool interior design.
Mm-hmm.
And this was about explaining lead, because it was long ago, not that people didn't really know what that was.
Uh-huh.
And here's see all the backgrounders? It's a guide to all the backgrounders.
Right. Yeah.
Because I decided there were 4 different audiences. There was food and wine, there was travel and tourism, because it's Niagara. There was news and business, because it was as the press release says,
Mm-hmm.
the world's first lead rated winery.
Nice.
So opposed to
Yeah,
you
right.
can have different
Right.
combination of backgrounds.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
really looking tatty. Sorry. This was the Maryland building. And I got this into the New York Times.
Nice.
You know that twisted
Yeah,
Maryland building?
Yeah.
Oh, and I gave the engineer their word mark,
Mm.
their slogan,
Mm.
giving shape to your design, which is what a structural engineer does.
Yes, of
doesn't it?
course, yeah. Yeah.
And I'll just quickly give you one other thing that's good about getting someone like me involved. Because sometimes if you bring an outsider in, oh, I can just show this to you. Hard copy. An outsider can see newsworthy things about you.
Right, that we may not see. Yeah, yeah,
Here's,
of course.
and it's hiding in plain sight
Yeah.
to the people who work at the company.
Right.
For instance, when I first got to know HOK,
Mm-hmm.
someone divulged that two guys from HOK in the 60s wrote this textbook. And it's actually the standard text for the pre-planning process
Oh.
for big office projects.
Oh, interesting.
And you see, this is just a printout from Amazon.
Yeah.
It's Wiley, the academic publishers do it, and
Mhm.
it's like in its 4th edition or 5th edition.
Yeah.
It's the standard text every office
Mhm.
design firm knows it. So that's a way to differentiate themselves
Sure.
from the other big firms like
Yeah.
Gensler
Right.
or whoever.
Yeah.
And so in HOK media kits, I would include a backgrounder on that.
Yeah, right.
And
They're
then,
thought leaders. They're defining the industry, right?
right. And so here, my first campaign with him was on this office project in Toronto. And the editor of Contract Magazine said, well, we just did something on HOK, so we'll say no to that, but we want a feature on this visioning process for our business section. And so I gave them that, and I often do ghostwriting.
Okay.
He's the head of or was the head of the Toronto office.
Okay.
So they were really happy about that.
Interesting. Okay.
Another example. Where is it? I'll show you here. Young and Wright, the architects, before they got absorbed by IBI Group,
Uh-huh.
I realized they had a unique business model that I'd never heard of. That made them different from every other architecture firm. One of their clients was AMC movie theaters,
Mm-hmm.
and because they were doing all of them in the eastern seaboard of North America.
Mm-hmm.
And what made it interesting business story is that they had on their staff full-time an architect who also was a full-time employee of AMC. So that enabled Young and Wright to scout for locations and arrange the lease and do a whole turnkey operation. So it was interesting because it gave the architect a much bigger piece of the
Yeah, of
pie
course,
than
right.
a normal architecture firm
Yeah.
just pushes the pencil.
Right.
So that got almost the whole page in the ROB,
Okay.
report on business.
Yeah.
And there's the front.
Uh-huh.
Oh, see a chance the boss around the boss, and then like, there was the whole story. And I got a quote from the president of the OAA
Okay.
saying he'd never heard of any business model like this for an
Oh,
architect.
interesting.
Because business publications really don't give a shit about design per se. They're
Right.
only interested in widgets and process. So
Okay.
if you have an interesting, something that's different from the normal standard
Yep.
thing, that makes a good business story. And
Sure.
then your potential clients read the business section.
Mhm.
They don't
Yes, that's
read
right.
the design and architecture
No, that's
magazine.
exactly right. No, I know.
So, and Jamie Wright understands that very well.
Mhm.
So he was, my eternal friend.
Yeah, right.
And he's at IBI Group, and I just had a meeting with them a while ago to do more with them again. Yeah, I got their Sherburne Health into architectural records, so they like me about that.
Yeah.
So, and here's another thing. One of my, oh yeah, this is to show you the press sets we got from Stratus.
Yeah.
Interior design,
Mm-hmm.
the nice boutique by Bertie Phillick.
Mm-hmm.
And also, but I don't have it here, Contract Magazine
Yeah.
did a feature
Oh, nice.
on the eco aspects, the
Oh, right,
ecological
okay.
aspects, because all the lead stuff.
Right.
Oh, now this is to show you that if you have a good, well-written press release, trade journals often will take it word for word and comma for comma. Because look, every single thing is exactly the same in the headline.
Yeah, yeah.
That was for Global.
That's fun.
And there are a lot of, industrial design journals and, well, pertinent to what you do.
Yeah, sure.
That probably would just
Yeah, absolutely.
take it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If we have the right thing in the right place at the right time, yeah, I'm sure they would.
And so, this kind of press kit with high-res images and even the cut lines written for
Yeah,
the images.
yeah,
So then the editor can go home early that day. Right? And then they can call you if they want.
Of course.
To specialize it, to tailor it what they want.
Well, I think certainly this sort of thing is what we've needed with. I mean, one of the challenges that we've had in the past, because Parcel have toured, we've had a long-standing relationship with Parcel. And they do an element of this and have talked to us about it.
What have they done for you?
They defined did all our graphics and a brand position, a brand audit 5 years ago, something like that.
So they told you what you are? Because
They helped
that's
us
branding.
discover. No, they helped us discover and articulate
Okay.
who we were.
Because, in the way, what I do is the opposite of that.
Right, okay.
Like, you already know what you are,
Yeah.
and I broadcast it.
Right, that's what we need.
I don't,
Yeah.
I'm not a brand
Okay.
definer.
Okay,
I'm not a
okay.
branding person, I'm
Right.
a
You're an
media
orator.
person. Because I was, my first newspaper job was section editor at the Globe and Mail.
Okay.
I created the fashion and design section,
Uh-huh.
and it was when it was a standalone section.
Okay.
And then they kicked me upstairs to be fine arts editor. So I was there for 7 years, and that was enough. and then I became editor of Canadian Interiors,
Okay. and
that was 2 years, and then I became associate editor, so I could spend more time doing PR work. Oh, this is I wrote the history book, the company history book
for Global. So nice.
Got them into Canadian business. Just saw of his chair.
That's awesome.
But he was like a recluse. No one ever knew about him before. So I
Right.
this was a dialogue chair for HBF, which got lots of press hits.
Yeah.
Cover of Monday Morning Quarterback, Globe and Mail, Detroit Free Press,
Wow.
Office Insight.
Yeah. Okay.
Lots of other
So how? Because I mean, this is the sort of thing we need. There's no doubt about that. That we need some of what you're offering.
Let me just show you one more. I know
Okay.
I'm getting carried away and
You're
I'm
getting carried
boring the
away.
client, but
No, you're not.
I'm so proud of this. The assignment was to publicize Technion's Contessa chair. So to get my mind around it, because it's something that always has fascinated me, what the hell is the difference among all these ergonomic task chairs? How do you know if one's better than the other?
You sit in it.
So they actually had someone whose title is Director of Competitive Intelligence.
Okay.
And he had all these chairs in a
look at
single
that.
room.
Okay.
And so I put, we put all of them on
Yeah.
on that horizontal axis. And then I broke down, with his help, what are all the attributes
Yeah.
of a task chair? And you see what they all are.
Yep.
This was in the press kit, but this is shrunk to one page. It was twice as big. That was one page. That was
Yeah,
one page
yeah,
facing
yeah.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? I had a eureka moment, because the Contessa is the only one with a solid row of X's.
Okay.
Everyone else is hit or miss.
Mhm.
So that means objectively, it's the best
Well,
chair.
it's objectively based on the
Well,
criteria that
right.
you've defined there, but all the same, it
No,
makes
but,
a point,
no,
right?
but these are all the
Yeah.
criteria, these are all
Mhm.
the features possible
Yeah.
that there are,
Mhm.
period.
Mhm.
So we got like a get it, this was the Financial Post,
Yeah.
and forget it, that was Human Scales, Freedom Chair. And, you know, lots of other press
Excellent,
hits.
excellent.
There was Office Insight, and Canadian Business
Nice.
did a whole chair, and
Nice.
even Canadian House and Home, and Globe and Mail, and
Mhm.
Design magazines, yada, yada, yada.
Huh.
But the other thing is, turns out Technion was really happy with this because all the salespeople use this
Oh,
as
I
a
bet they
sales
do.
tool.
Oh, I bet they do, because it's who they're up against, right? Well, why
Yeah.
would you buy those when you could get them?
Right. All right, but see, it's just to show you,
Mm-hmm.
like the other things I showed you, that